Lots of people talk about chasing their dreams, but how many actually do it? Welcome to the Pursue Your Passion podcast with Tyler Kamerman. We're going to introduce you to people who are intentionally pursuing their passion every day. Through their stories of success and their struggles, you'll gain insight into how to better begin or continue your journey. Now here's Tyler with today's guest.
What's up, passion pursuers? So glad that you're joining me today. I am excited. I guess I'm excited every week, right? But I have some special guests with me today, and they are very special to me because my guests on today's show are my son, Ian, and my daughter, Arianna. Say hi, guys.
Hello. Hi.
So these two have asked me since I started this podcast if they could be guests on my show. And I've told them no, or I've kind of ignored the request. And then I started thinking about it. And, you know, what we talk about all the time on this show is helping to inspire people, helping people pursue their passion. Well, both of these guys have their own YouTube channels. They're always looking for ways to, entertain people. And so I thought, look, if they want to be on the podcast, we should talk to them because they're clearly interested in talking about pursuing their passion. Now, the other, thing that shifted here is we had the opportunity to go on a missions trip together a couple weeks ago. So we're going to talk about that a little bit today too. But just to give you a little background, if you've been listening to the show, you probably know a little bit about these two. But Ian is 11 years old. He is a sixth grader at Clive Elementary School, Clive Learning Academy. He's in the band. He's in the choir. He loves math. He also sometimes likes reading if you give him the right material. Arianna is 9. She's in the 4th grade, also at Clive Learning Academy. She started playing in the orchestra this year. She loves to sing. She also does dance outside of school. And Ian is really big into his Boy Scouts. Ari also does Cub Scouts. So that's a little bit about the kids. Welcome to the show, guys.
Yeah, it should be pretty fun.
So I think what I want to talk about first is our trip. So we had the opportunity to go on a missions trip with my employer, Many Hands. So we went to Abaco we were in Abaco from February 5th through February 11th. And we got to do a pretty wide variety of stuff. So, Ian, why don't you start? What was the thing that you liked the best about the trip?
The thing that I liked the best, we did a lot of cool stuff, but it'd have to be either going to the community center and doing stuff there, or Wednesday night when we went to the youth group. Those were 2 really fun times. I liked helping with the construction at the community center, and it was fun to hang out with other guys at the youth group since there weren't any other young males at the camp. It was mainly older.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that was fun.
There's a community center that is right by one of the poorest areas of Abaco called Murphytown. And the community center right by Murphytown, it got the roof torn off during Hurricane Dorian. And we've had the opportunity, along with some other organizations, to start working on that building. And the cool thing is that it really is a community center. I mean, the community will use it for dance and potlucks and all sorts of stuff inside. And they already play high school basketball games are played outside on the asphalt basketball court right outside this community center. So getting this thing back up and running really is going to be a huge thing for the community, which is awesome. So, and Ari, how about you? What was kind of the highlight? What was one of the highlights for you?
Probably the youth thing. And, when we were in Hopetown, when we were at the lighthouse.
Mm-hmm. You really like the lighthouse? We got to go see one of the, I think it's the last gas-burning lighthouse in North America. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
I think she said in the world.
In the world. Okay, well, there you go. So we got to see that, which was pretty awesome. And so both the kids have also brought up the youth on the Wednesday night that we were there. We got to get together with a church that we formed a partnership with, and just hang out with their youth. They had probably like 80 kids there. It was a big event. And the kids got to, just get out and, Ian played some soccer with them. And I know Arianna was helping with some crafts and doing some crafts with them. So it was really neat to connect with the kids in that area as well. So one thing that I thought was really cool, Ari, could you tell us about when we were at Agape and the girls' basketball team was practicing?
So when we were sorting clothes at Agape, I was just watching the girls play basketball, and the coach invited me to play with them. And it was really fun. I was kind of surprised that he asked me to play because those kids are in school or at practice. And it was just amazing. I really liked that.
Yeah, it was really neat to see you jump in and just start practicing with them. And one thing that I saw was really like a spark that got ignited for you because you haven't really had a lot of interest in basketball lately. But then when we got back to the camp, you went and shot baskets for another half hour after that. And Ian Ian had already been playing basketball earlier in the week, but you went out and shot by yourself. And then a couple times when Ian was out playing, you went out and shot baskets with him then too. So I think that was really neat because it kind of turned your eyes toward basketball again. And maybe that's something that you might be interested in doing more of, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Were you going to say something, bud?
Oh, I was just gonna. So Thursday night we went to the volleyball thing, which was really fun. There's a community volleyball league that meets there. Anyone's allowed to play that's there. So me, my dad, Ari, mom wanted to, but I don't think she did. And a bunch of other people from the school and community came and played. First, it was not even scrimmage. We were just hitting the ball to each other. And then we actually started playing games. Those were fun. My team won most of them.
Yeah, you were on the court for a long time, weren't you?
Yeah, we only lost like 2 games.
Yeah, that was pretty cool too. So I'm just trying to think kind of, some of the other projects that we worked on. So the neat thing is that the youth camp that we stayed at, it got hit pretty hard during Hurricane Dorian, but a lot of the work on putting the youth camp back together has already been done. But we spent some time, I think a group worked on painting.
Yeah, and we did books. We sorted books.
Well, that was at Agape. So I was moving back to the youth camp. So we, we cleaned up the beach a little bit. We did some painting. What else was going on that we were working on at the youth camp?
Construction, building bunk beds. I got to do some nails with the electric screw gun.
Yep. That's cool. So we were helping to put together some new bunks for the bunkhouse. And the neat thing there, for those of us that are, grew up in Iowa and went to church camp at different places, this church camp just happens to be right on the ocean. So I know it wasn't what Dad had originally said it was going to be. The water was a lot choppier than it was supposed to, but you guys also got to experience the ocean for the first time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was very salty.
It is very salty.
It kind of tastes.
That might have been one of the reasons I got sick.
Well, I don't know.
Because I kept accidentally swallowing the water.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we got a stomach bug though, because we all got sick.
The water kind of tasted good, but like I didn't swallow it. I just licked my lips after I went under.
Yeah.
It's just like salty water. It's fine.
Yeah. So what did you find it? What was your favorite part about being in the ocean?
Well, my favorite part was trying to find things. And we were going to go to a rock, but we didn't, sadly, because I got sick.
Yeah, I know.
Cursed sickness.
Yep, that was a bummer. But all in all, what I think for me, once again, similar to like when I went to Haiti, it was seeing things from a different perspective. And I think that was the biggest thing that I was hoping you guys would see by being there as well, is because, life in the United States looks very similar in a lot of places. I mean, there's lots of areas that are poor. There's lots of areas that are wealthy. So in that way, it looks different. But by going to a different country, not only do you get to experience some different cultures, you also got to see, like the shanty towns, like the houses that really weren't houses like our houses, right?
Yeah, so someone said they were like shells, so they do the outside and then they start buying all the furniture for the inside. So even if you see a house that looks fully built, you want to look if you can see through a window, because some of the houses have barely anything inside, because after the hurricane, all the stuff in the house, it's just gone. So they do the outside of the house, then they start working on the inside of the house, and they don't get very high paying jobs, so it takes a long time for all that stuff to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm glad you remembered that. And so that was on some of even the more houses that look more like ours. They'll get the outside built and then they go back in and do the inside. But do you remember when we drove by when we were kind of outside of town, those shanty houses? Like and those were hardly even houses, right?
Yeah.
And there was
They were like wood on one side, wood on the other, and then there was like
like a tarp.
tarp in the front or back, and like it was just not a house.
Yeah, well, at least not what we're used to, right? So that was a big change. Yeah. So any other thoughts from the trip to Abaco?
We got some pretty good rolled ice cream.
We got some good rolled ice cream. Yes, we did.
Oh yeah,
And I missed getting ice cream with the group because we were
stacked
sick.
it so high.
Yeah. Yeah.
And me and my dad missed going to all these cool farms and
We
getting
only went
ice
to
cream.
2.
And getting ice cream with the group, which was really annoying.
Yeah, and then
I
we
like
had to
ice cream.
we had to travel back sick too, didn't we?
Yeah, I didn't do anything except for sleep on my dad's shoulder the entire like 3 hours we were in the air, and I didn't even do anything for the 6-hour overlay in Georgia. I just kind of just sat there.
Yeah, you were pretty sick. So that was a really neat. I'm really glad that we did that experience as a family, and it sounds like you guys had some things that you took away from it. Was there anything new, I guess, that you feel like that was there anything new that you feel like you learned, or that you feel like maybe somebody spoke to you while you were there?
Well, going to a country is a new experience. Like in itself, you get to see maybe a different lifestyle, or you're just going to a different country in the same continent. Maybe there's not a different lifestyle, but there's different people to meet. There's different experiences to have. We got to see a lot more poverty than we're used to seeing in the United States of America. Every once in a while, we'll see a homeless person or like a little alleyway with some people in it.
Yeah.
Tiny house.
Yeah.
But like this was like a whole new level of seeing poverty.
Ari, anything you want to add to that?
And it wasn't really frightening. It was just strange to see it.
Yeah.
And I kind of wish we could have helped more with that, but I know we can't.
Yeah. But we always have the opportunity to go back, and maybe we can do more then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. So outside of Abaco, I started talking about, some of the stuff that you guys do, but what would you say you're the most passionate about right now? Like, what are the goals that you're chasing after, or the dreams that you have?
So a couple goals that I have, I'm trying to get, I think it's Star Scout and Boy Scouts. I want to get that, and if I ever like leave Boy Scouts, I want to have that before I leave, like just so I'm out of like first class, because it's just another rank to get.
Yeah.
I also want to join a soccer team.
Okay.
And those are two of my main goals: to find a soccer team and see if I can join that, and then get to Star Scout.
Awesome. All right. How about you?
Things I've been really focusing on, I've been really into digital art. I've been into just like art in general, like creativity, like videos and like such, and also like drawings and paintings. I'm also this year I'm gonna try to at the end of this year I'm gonna try to join a basketball team, And I'm working on leaving Cub Scouts.
Leaving Cub Scouts?
Well, not leaving, but bridging in Cub Scouts.
Oh, so you can cross over
Yeah.
into Scouts BSA?
One thing that Ari reminded me that I've been doing a lot recently is editing videos. It's just something I really enjoy doing. It's fun to share how I kind of see things by editing videos.
Yeah.
I spent 5 hours editing one over the past 2 days, and it was just really fun for me.
Yeah. And it's pretty funny too.
It
I've
is.
seen it. So one thing that just popped into my mind, that I think is pretty awesome. Ian said that he wanted to make this math competition called Math Counts, and he shared that with me over Christmas break. And so we challenged him to, just spend some time practicing math outside of school. And he did that, and he ended up being in the top 4
students at Clive.
Top 4 students at Clive. So he got to go to the Math Counts competition last week. They didn't play super high when he was there, but I think the thing that I talked to Ian about was he set a goal and he worked towards it and he accomplished it. And I think that that's one of the biggest things that, I talk about that on the show. I talk about these two quite a bit, but that's something as a parent that I'm really trying to coach both of them, not push them, like a crazy person, but when they highlight something that's important to them, to encourage them to go after that. So listening to you guys talk right now, it's so, how can you do more editing on your videos and how, Iowa, it's kind of hard to practice soccer right now because there's snow on the ground, but the things that are important to us, we have to make time to try to get better. And you guys are both really good about practicing your piano because your piano is really important to you. And we're encouraging you to practice your other instruments as well, because those are the things you have to work. Like I've said it to you before, and I'm sure I'll continue to say it as long as you live here. Like, I believe that you can do almost anything that you're willing to put hard work toward. There's a lot of people that say, oh, you can do whatever you want to. I don't necessarily think that's true. I think you can do whatever you want to if you're willing to put in the work that it takes to get there, because you miss that piece. A lot of times people will just tell you, hey, you can do whatever you want to. You just got to dream. Well, hey, you got to dream, but then you have to put the work in order to get there. So, if Ari said, I want to run an 8-minute mile, well, we're going to have to put in some work to get there. Right. But I know you could do that. I know you could run a 6-minute mile if you decided to put the time and effort.
What about a 1-minute mile?
Well, that's impossible. The fastest person, I think the world record is 3 minutes and 44 seconds. So I think you'd be 1 minute would be, you'd have to have flash superpowers or something like that. So, one question that I always like to ask guests that come on my show is, tell me about your dreams as a kid, or what did 7 or 10-year-old you want to be? Well, that's the age that you guys are at right now. So Ari, what do you want to be when you grow up?
A veterinarian and animal doctor.
An animal doctor. Yeah. And so why do you want to do that?
Because I love animals, and if they're sick, I want to do the best I can to help them.
Yeah, that's awesome. And what have we talked about? What do you have to do to be a vet?
Go through a lot of college.
Well, go through college, and then there's vet school after college too.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So we talk about if that's going to be your dream, that you need to work hard in school, right? Because you have to get good grades to get into a good college, to go to vet school, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think that's awesome because you do love animals. And so you're taking something that you love, and that's, what you've set your sights on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ian, how about you? What do you want to be when you grow up?
I have been thinking about this question a lot lately. I'm getting to an age where it's coming more. I'm getting asked it more and more. What do you want to be? I like editing videos, but I don't really see myself doing that as a full-time job. Neither do I see myself doing podcasts or YouTube as a full-time job. Those are side jobs that I can do.
Okay.
So something that I've been thinking about is maybe joining the military, because you can get a scholarship to college by doing that. If you do it long enough, you can get, I think you said it was pension, and like it pays towards your retirement. So after that certain amount of time, I can just become a police officer. So there's lots of things you can do in the military. You go to college, and then maybe if you don't want to become a police officer, I could go through like another school to become a doctor or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Since it pays for college or like gets you a scholarship, I could get a scholarship to college and go to college and decide what I want to be then.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and it's interesting that you say a lot of people are asking you what you want to be, because I think 11 years old is pretty young to try to figure out what you want to be. I sometimes joke that I still don't know exactly what I want to be. I know I love what I'm doing for my job, but I think we put too much pressure on kids. One of my guests was just talking about that a couple episodes ago, how he actually wanted to be a veterinarian, and that all changed once he got to college. So I just always want you guys to feel like whatever you decide you want to do, that mom and dad are going to support you in that, because we will. Whether you want to go to college or you want to go to the military, we're going to support you in that. So this one might be a little bit hard, but I'm going to ask you, what's something that you've done? What's your biggest achievement, or what are you the most proud of so far?
So is that like my entire life? There is one pinpoint thing that has rock started everything, or for a certain thing?
Well, not necessarily that rock started everything, but just something that you're really proud of. Yeah, like in
anything?
Yeah, in anything. Could be family, could be school, could be playing with your friends, could be sports.
Oh, I know.
Okay, go ahead.
Getting the most answers right on our multiplication quiz.
Nice. Was that recent?
Mm-mm.
No.
It was mainly at the start of the year, but
okay.
I got all of the questions right, and the most someone got that didn't get all of the questions right was almost all of them right. Like, I'd say 98 out of 100, but there weren't that many questions.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Something, I don't know if this is one of the greatest things I've ever done, but this is the one that I can remember.
Okay.
Like getting into the math counts team. That's something that I really wanted to get into. Like, I really wanted to do that.
Yep.
And I did it.
You did. That makes Dad really proud too, because and that's the reason that I brought that up. I mean, you guys are both getting really good at working towards things, but sometimes you work really hard for something and there's not a payoff. This was one of those situations where you said, hey, this is what I'm going to go after. You put in the extra work to do it, and you earn the reward of getting to go to that. And it's important to remember that sometimes, like I just said, sometimes we put in hard work and there isn't a reward. Sometimes we have to put more hard work in, and more hard work in, and more hard work in. But I think it's also important to remember that if you keep working towards something and keep working hard, it's like that book that we're reading about prayer. Sometimes perseverance is the most important thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So is there something that has happened to you that was a really big setback, or a really big obstacle that you had to overcome? Is there anything that you can think of? And if so, how did you overcome that difficulty?
Well, there are lots of things that are difficult when you're trying to accomplish something, like the feeling of being like wanting to be lazy, or like just wanting to spend your entire day on your electronics, which I haven't fully overcome. Sometimes I spend an entire day looking at a screen. It's not like weekends. Every once in a while, Saturday, like, I do nothing.
That's okay.
I still haven't overcome that one, but it's one that I'm like trying to like filter out by doing more things, like maybe starting to do D&D with the family, so that we're not looking at screens all the time. We're actually being able to do something together. Even if you are looking at a screen for like your character, it's like productive with your family. You're doing something together.
Yep. That's a really good point. But keep in mind too, you don't always have to be productive. Sometimes it's good to have some downtime too, right? But I love that you're thinking about that, because that's great.
And the reason I say that isn't because it's not good to have downtime, but when you have too much downtime doesn't seem like a reward. It just feels like something that you get.
Yep. That's really that. There's your golden nugget there, folks. That's a pretty good one. What were you going to say, Ari?
Something, because I was having, for the question you asked, I was having really good weeks at school, and then I had one bad day, and then I had some more. But one way I overcame that is just thinking, is this what I want to be doing?
Yeah.
Or is this just rational thinking?
Sure. Yeah.
Like, that is causing me to do this.
Yeah. Yeah. So sometimes it's about realizing that maybe you're making a mistake, and how can you correct that?
Yeah.
And thinking about, hey, is this really the way that I want to be acting in this situation? Is that kind of what you're thinking?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good. So if one of your friends was, trying to, they had an idea, right?
Mhm.
And they were trying to make it happen, whether that was getting their YouTube channel going or starting a lawn care company or something like that, and they were stuck. What would you do to try to encourage them?
Depends on what they're stuck on. Getting the materials, do some, like if your parents allow you to do chores that give you money, or maybe just start by like finding an easy way to get money around the neighborhood by like taking out trash. If they're stuck on getting people to do it, you could tell them that, hey, maybe you could come to my neighborhood and you guys could pass out flyers together.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
That's what I was going to say. Because, if for YouTube, I would say maybe make more videos so they have more of a chance of popping up on someone's page to watch.
Yep.
And
so create more content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Create more content. So then you have a higher chance of, I watch YouTube Shorts. It's kind of like TikTok, but not as inappropriate.
Some of the videos are still inappropriate, but it's not as inappropriate.
Yeah. And so if you make shorter videos and those get a lot of views, really fast, if you made short videos, then they would pop up. And even if someone, do they have to watch the whole video to get a view? Or
no.
just see it?
They just have to watch it for, I think it's at least 5 seconds.
Okay.
If they start watching your video and then they don't like it, you still get a view. And then the views build up, and then you become popular.
So there it is, folks. YouTube Shorts. That's what you got to do.
But one thing about YouTube Shorts is so let's say you're trying to do YouTube as a job.
Mm-hmm.
The thing about YouTube Shorts is you can gain subscribers and views from it, but it doesn't, there's a guy I watch who has 1.2 million subscribers, gets at least 100,000 views on each video.
Mm-hmm.
He only makes $100 every 6 months.
Oh, okay.
From
so he
YouTube.
doesn't make a lot from YouTube.
It's either a month or every 6 months. So he doesn't make a lot from YouTube Shorts. But full-length content videos that 100,000 people watch, a lot of people watch, that's where you're going to get the money from.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to make money, do full-length content and advertise it in shorts. If you're just doing it for fun, like Ari said, do the shorts.
Yep. That makes sense. So I know you guys both like to read, and we read books together too. If you had to pick your 2 or 3 favorite books that you've read, what do you think that would be?
One is definitely going to The Hunger Games, the first book.
Okay.
But did you read it with Dad?
Does that have to be one I read with
No, it doesn't have to be something you read
Oh.
with me. I just want to know what your 3 favorite books are.
The Westing Game was pretty good.
Okay.
Me and my mom read that. And Percy Jackson.
Okay.
And then there are a bunch of other books here that I thought were amazing. But those are some of my top 3.
Okay, so we got The Hunger Games, The Westing Game, and Percy Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Ari, how about you?
Harry Potter series, which I think I actually read all of them with you.
Yep, you did.
Which
We
took
did
us
do that.
2 years.
It took us a long time.
I really liked my side of the mountain,
That was a really good one.
and probably Warriors.
Oh, yeah. The Warriors. We got a Warriors clan in our neighborhood. Maybe not so much anymore. Maybe it's disbanded, but we used to play Warrior. You guys used to play Warriors all the time, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Still do when I go outside.
Do you?
Yeah.
Speaking of which, it's pretty nice outside. You should see if any of your friends are around today. All right. Well, hey, this was a lot of fun. I'm glad that it worked out for you guys to be on the show. We have a day off from school, so we, we're hanging out. Dad's working from home and pulled the mics out and jumped on the podcast. So these two are probably my biggest inspiration for getting out of bed in the morning and working hard. My goal in doing this podcast is to help other people find their passion, help other people pursue their passion. And you two are two of the biggest reasons why I pursue my passion on a daily basis. So thank you all for listening. I hope you enjoyed the show with Ian and Arianna. Hey, if the people want to learn more about you guys, do you guys have YouTube channels that they could check out?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
All right,
I don't
Ari.
really wanna.
You don't want to share it? Oh, okay. Ian, did you want to share yours?
Flying Pigs 4320. I think that's how you say it. Space Games.
Okay, so what would they search if they want to find you on YouTube? Flying Pigs?
4320 Space Games, capital S, capital P.
Okay, there you go. Not a super easy one, but that's where you can find Ian's YouTube channel. And Ari's still going to pass on getting hers out there, maybe later. Well, thanks again for listening, everybody, and keep pursuing your passions.
If you have questions or would like to contact us, please check out the show details for contact information. Thanks for listening to the Pursue Your Passion podcast.